Hello and welcome to Success Stories. Success Stories is that interview show where you talk to students of Ekcel Academy on how they cleared CS exam, which will inspire and motivate you too. And joining me today is Sriram from Chennai. Hello Sriram, welcome.
Good evening, sir. How are you?
I'm good, very good, and it's very happy to see Sriram because first time I met Sriram was in Chennai when we had a workshop in Chennai, a face-to-face workshop. So it's been quite some time, and finally we have very good news. He has cleared CS Executive completely, M1 and M2, now into CS Professional. So congratulations.
Thank you so much, sir.
So it's really nice to see the perseverance, hard work, consistency, which has made you get the results. So before we even go to how you studied, we want to understand brief background, like where are you from, what's your education, did you work? You can give a brief idea.
Sure, sir. So I'm actually a BCom graduate who pursued MBA and CS together. And due to exam clashes, exam date clashes and all, I wasn't able to take a complete CS way before. So I had to concentrate on MBA and complete the MBA first because both the exams would come on the same dates. Every now and then it would come on the same dates. So I had to complete my MBA first. Had to hold back the CS. And post completing my MBA, I was not motivated enough to get into another professional course wherein I have to study even more harder to clear these exams because I had returned this exam a couple of times and I didn't clear it due to aggregate issues and all. So I went into a job, worked with a company, and I didn't have patience to take up a book and study again. It was really hard for me to come back to studies. So I was working there, and I didn't have that satisfaction within me to work as an associate for a long period of time. So and then COVID came. I had to quit my job, go back to my hometown, and then in my hometown, my parents actually motivated me to take up this CS course again. And I also spoke with a couple of mentors. I also spoke to you and one of my college professors and a couple of my seniors who had actually completed chartered accountancy. And then they all motivated me to pick up this course again. So I started the process right from the start once again. It took me a lot of time. It took a lot of patience from me because the exam kept postponing for a longer period of time during this pandemic. It was first June and then July and then finally they ended up conducting it in August. So in August attempt, I was very sure that if I'm not clearing this attempt, I'm just going back to what I was doing before. So I gave this August attempt with full intensity, and October the results came. Fortunately, I was able to clear Group 1, and it actually fueled my interest to take up this course more seriously and concentrated on Group 2, took up various offline, online lectures, self-studied a couple of subjects, wrote down my own notes. That was the process that I liked the most because Module 1 I had cleared it. And if you ask me how did you clear Module 1, I will not be having any answers. But the Module 2 process, I just...
No, one second. Before that, I think we'll come to the study part later. We'll go back to the main problem. See, it's not easy to leave the job because once you're in a job, you're going to get salary and you're just out of college. So you have a income for yourself. You're not depending on family. So tell us about the decision of leaving the job because we have many students in a similar situation where either they have commitment or they're scared to leave the job. So why did you leave the job? Like what was that thing for you to leave the job? How did you get the confidence to leave the job?
See, it was an entry-level job, to be honest. But that particular company paid me well. If I was more concerned about the money alone, I would have continued there itself. But I was more concerned about my interest. That the first day that I went into that company, I knew that it was not my cup of tea. I had to work hard. I had to work for 12, 13 hours, and there was no work-life balance. I felt that the study failures were better than whatever I was earning, I mean, monetarily. I didn't have the peace of mind working for a private concern for a longer period of time. I knew that it is not going to be my future anymore. And also, I quit the job. Right after quitting the job, I was searching here and there for a better course that is as rewarding as CS monetarily and also reputation wise. Unfortunately, I couldn't find anything which is as reputed as a company secretary course because as you speak in a lot of interviews, the scope of company secretaryship is widening every day. Every day it's widening. So it was important for me to take a call. If not now, I'm never going to be a company secretary because the life is running out. The time is running out. So I had to take a decision. So I gave myself only one attempt to try this one. So if I had not cleared in that attempt, I would have probably ended up in another job, which would have actually kept my life different altogether. What it is currently.
Very good, Sriram. This is actually the most inspiring part, which everyone who's watching this. To summarize whatever Sriram said, he saw the long-term career benefits of a course like company secretary, and that is what made him leave the job. Because once you're working, and also he was mentioning the salary was good, it is not easy. It is something like addiction to leave the salary and do something. It takes a lot of courage. And what motivated him to do that is the long-term career benefit. As he was telling, you can't make a big career in entry level job, and even if you get promotion, whatever happens, you don't have the long term career growth. That is really good to know. We want to, like, before we go ahead with studies, again we want to mention over there, like, were there some of your maybe colleagues or friends or others who said what you're doing is probably not a good idea, just you stick to the job, along with job you can study? Correct. They would have told like this, or take some other easy job where you can take time to study, not the 12 hours, 13 hours. When you heard such things, what was the reaction?
Yeah, of course, critics will always be there. I also had to face a lot of negative comments. Even not within the family, they were very supportive, but externally, when I go to my friends and say that I'm quitting my job, I'm going to do something again with the books. I'm going to read. I'm going to appear for exams. So hope to clear exams. It was I had both of the sides. People encouraged me as well as people actually criticized a lot to not to leave, asked me not to leave the job and concentrate on the studies, being in the job. So it was not easy for me to explain them that concentrating on a professional course like CS, being in a job is even more harder than quitting a job. I didn't bother about critics and all. I just made sure that if I'm going to clear this exam, all the critics will be answered. I concentrated only on that thing. God's grace, I cleared module one, and yeah, the process for the module two was a bit more easier.
Very good. So for people who are watching this, we are not saying if you're in a job, you should quit the job and study. That is not our message. But our message is, as Sriram said, he took that risk and he gave himself 100% time. Because when you give 100% time for study, you'll have the focus, and he got it. And as he told, when he cleared M1, he got the confidence. Yes, I can do M2. And he also cleared M2. So same way, if you are having too much financial commitment, of course, we or anybody will not tell leave the job. But if you can, by somehow, take 4 months or 5 months with complete preparation and dedication and study, especially for people who have worked 1 or 2 years, it is very good, because think of the career for 30 to 40 years. Don't think of 2, 3 years and have that fear and spoil your career for 30 to 40 years. Yes, so Sriram, now that you sat to study, tell us a little bit about your daily routine. Like, since you had full time to study, how did you plan your day? What was your timetable, or generally, how did you use the time?
Um, it was a basic routine actually. I wouldn't say that I woke up at 5 a.m. daily and studied for 13 14 hours. I would say that it would be really disheartening from my side to lie like that. It was actually a basic schedule. I made sure that I was consistent in the preparation process. Made sure that I had my own notes to to not to get lost during the revision process, because I believe that that's where I lacked when I wrote it a couple of times and was not able to clear it. I just missed my way out during this revision process. So I just make sure that if I gave 1 month to each subject, so eventually I had five months, if I'm not wrong, yeah, 5 months time. So 1 month for each subject would give me another month for revision. So I kept the first exam revision paper at the last during the last month, and I revised all the three subjects during the last month at once, and made sure that the revision process was also there. And the one thing about it is I did not take any sort of break from this process. If I had given me the 5 month time, if I had given this 30 days for each subject, sometimes it was only 28 days. During the February and all, I made sure I don't want to miss out on any. I don't want to lag behind any preparation process. So I did study daily without even taking a break of Sunday. But I did not do it 8 hours, 10 hours consecutively. I sat for 2 hours, I'll sit for 2 hours, just wind away with some other thing for another 2, 3 hours, and then come back to study for another 2 hours. Made sure that I revised whatever I studied during the day at night before sleeping. And I also made this. I have also have this weird habit of reiterating things and recording it in my phone and hearing it whenever I'm not motivated to take up a book and study. Yeah, so I had some weird things to do in the process.
Good. See, whatever works, it is excellent. So it may be sounding different, but definitely if it works, it is good. So now tell us one thing. Again, I want to talk about being stuck. See, when we are studying, we get stuck in some subject, or some subject seems difficult, or we feel there is a roadblock. How do I go ahead? These kind of thoughts will definitely come when we are studying for CS. And these points, when you get stuck, is even more difficult with the kind of background which you had. You completed MBA, you left the job, having a high salary. At that time, how did you overcome that? When you were stuck in different points, how did you overcome that?
Um, I was not very fluent with the legal maxims that every subjects that we had. So that in that process in group one, I remember I felt really hard and wasn't easy for me to study this jurisprudence interpretation, but ended up scoring better marks in that. But yeah, the process was not easy at all. Even that is the one subject where even if you have been taught how to read that subject, if you don't have the interest, you will not be understanding the concept of various laws that were written pre-independence and way back in 1940s and all. So that one thing that I felt really hard to do, that was the hardest part of the process. And I told, I had my own methods to do it. I just don't just take the book and start reading from toe to toe. Rather, I just marked important points and made sure that whatever I read, I write it down in points or in flowcharts, as you had told in a lot of videos. So to make a mind map, to just that flashcard thing. Yeah, I used to do that. I used to stick flashcards all around my home. That is, I don't know if that is necessary for this subject, but I just that's how I did it, because that's how I felt that I was engaged with this subject. I was making flowcharts. I was making my own notes. Yeah, that was one difficult part. The other difficult part was being consistent with other subjects revision. So I first completed jurisprudence and interpretation, and then I took up, let's say, I took up analytical subject of tax. So when I was studying tax, it was a most practical subject that we could have in executive. So when I was studying tax, I tend to forget the things that I had studied in jurisprudence, and it was really hard for me to manage this first time studying of tax and the second time revision of jurisprudence. So it was hard, but since I had prepared my own notes for jurisprudence, I was able to go through a topic in a shorter period of time than compared to reading it from a module. Because in module the font size is small, and I felt that as a big issue, because of that font size and just black and white. colored book. I didn't have the motivation to take up my institute module and revise from once again to from page to page, front page to back page. I was not motivated enough. So
But
my own notes
did
helped
you
me a lot.
use module? No, for first
Yes,
time
sir.
study, you use module or
Yes, sir.
some other book?
No, only module.
That is very good. See, again, people who are watching it, everybody asks, sir, which book to study, which book to study, and they'll be thinking so much. Please study ICSI study material. Question paper is set by ICSI, so that is the best book to study. Great.
Yeah.
Yes.
But studying once from the module is okay. So whenever I'm studying from the module, I made sure that I had my own notes for the second time revision and the third time revision. Yeah, I didn't go back to the module second time or the third time. So I had all the notes written in my own handwriting, which was more comfortable in my own language. I had this legal maxims, and I had given English meaning to all the Latin maxims. So
Wow.
in that way, you need to remember this legal maxim all the way. Important maxim, of course, you need to remember. But whenever you are understanding the legal maxim, you need not blindfoldedly by heart the maxims like how I used to do previously.
Right. Very good. I think all these tips are something which people are watching it. Whatever is useful, you can also try. Of course, everything might not work for you, but we are very happy that Sriram is sharing this. Next, Sriram, we want to understand a little bit about things like related to which was the most difficult subject you had, whichever you faced in entire M1, M2, which you found most difficult, and how did you approach that subject? Because everyone watching this also will have some subject difficult and they don't know how to deal with it. If you can share that.
Out of the eight, I found a couple of subjects extremely difficult because they are extremely concept oriented. The first one is financial management and strategic management, both the sides. But strategic management is a theoretical side of things, but which can be managed. But financial management is one thing you can make a career out of it. So that is one thing that I was really concerned about. If I'm not understanding a concept, I wouldn't study it at all. I was not mugging up formulas, even though we didn't require the derivation of formulas to be learned. I made sure that I attended chartered accountancy class for financial management to attend the derivation of the formula because they had more elaborative, in-depth view of financial management. So that was one thing that I did for FM. And the other one was capital markets, not the security law part, but the capital markets. See, what I thought before diving into this capital market was right. If we are thorough with this capital market chapter, we will be able to go into stock markets and start making money on our own. So that was not the case at all. It
This
was
is
very
only
fun.
the only we study legal side before
Yeah,
listing and what is the overall structure. We don't study about the market and how to make money. We don't study that.
yeah. That I didn't understand before going to the subject. So once I went into the subject and deep dive into the concept of capital markets, it was a new learning for me itself, which took me quite a lot of time. I wouldn't say it extensively took me 20-30 days, but whatever days that I had allocated for capital markets, I made sure that I understand the concept really well because without understanding the numericals cannot be answered in that subjects.
Great, wonderful. So next we'll come to about online classes. See, now many people still, I know online classes is working and all that, but still some people feel online will not work, etc. And in your case, you enrolled for the recorded classes. So we have live classes and recorded. You enrolled for the recorded classes. So tell us how effective or not is online classes, and how was your experience?
I don't know how it works for the others, but for me, online classes are the best. You don't have to move from your home. When you're committed only to studies, you save a lot of time when you're at home, and you have it in your comfortable time and your comfortable space as well. So recorded lectures actually helped me a lot because I'm not a person who would rise up early in the morning and study throughout. Rather, I would wake up a bit late and stretch my night to complete the syllabus that I had earmarked for the day. So recorded classes, I believe that is something that really helped me out in my preparation, because you can keep reiterating the concept every now and then. If you had listened to the recorded classes and you had draft down your own notes, um, you can actually see the same class another time with pre-prepared notes, which actually helps you to listen and study at the same time. As someone, I don't remember who said this, but some faculty actually in YouTube or I don't know if it was said in Excel, but it was a beautiful thing. They said that my speaking, my blabbering, and your scribbling will make a beautiful art. That actually made me clear the exams.
Okay, nice, nice. Very nice to know that. So tell us about how you used to do, like you used to just watch the classes or make notes, or what was your strategy in online class?
Um, Not only watching the classes would have helped me, sir. Honestly, I used to prepare my own notes. I can strongly contempt that I have all my notes tailor made for me for all the 8 subjects, and each and every topic is covered. Each and every section is covered. That's how I made my own notes. I don't. I think that it actually helps a lot during the revision purpose, because when you are writing something, when it is in your handwriting, you feel more comfortable going back to that study material and revising that particular chapters. And small things like a particular meaning for a derivation for a formula cannot be written in a small piece of paper beside the book itself. It will not help at all. And I wouldn't suggest also writing it in a loose paper and throwing it away. It has to be there throughout the process that you are about to enter, that is the exam process. Every day you come afternoon, you will just have half a day if you're writing both the modules, and 1.5 day if you're writing a single module. 1.5 day, 700 pages, not at all possible. So I had written my own notes alongside watching the lectures, be it YouTube or on our websites. I would write down my own notes, whichever topic it may be.
Very good, excellent. So now tell us, who was your biggest support in this whole journey? Because it's not easy to leave the job and study.
I have quite a few people who inspired me a lot. First of all, I would like to mention that a world of company secretaries videos, I mean interviews that you would actually go around. I mean, you would actually pick up company secretaries around the world and interview them. It actually kept me going, and a lot of hard hitting stories from the success stories itself. I keep
Mhm.
following them very regularly, and also my family is also a big fan of the series. We used to watch it even in the phase where I was not pursuing CS and I was into job. I would come back if a notification hits me. If there is a success story or World of Company Secretary video being uploaded, I would definitely watch it. I make sure that I watch it in my free time. I wouldn't just put it on my earphones and just sleep around. I'll just I watch it wholeheartedly, because that is one thing that kept me going. And there is one tutor, and he is my personal mentor, who's Dr. Alagaraja from my own university, who helped me a lot and kept me going in this course. And of course, without family support, you cannot actually achieve anything. And my father and my mother was very supportive. They were okay to do anything, to give up anything if I'm going to pursue this course. So I had a lot of support and a lot of inspiration coming from a lot of faculties from Excel and from other academies as well, that actually kept me going.
Okay, very nice. We are coming to the last part. If you have to say, what is the one thing you would have missed if you had not been part of Excel? What is that one thing?
Definitely the recorded lectures I would have missed, because I'm from a South India wherein I don't understand a word of Hindi. I would have definitely struggled a lot if I had been in some other centers wherein they take whole classes in Hindi. And a lot of faculties, Raksha ma'am's GST lectures, her financial management, strategic management, your company law side, and setting up of businesses. I just whenever I feel I didn't have the motivation to take a book or write down notes, I would just come back to this video lectures, just play it, make sure that I'm consistent in the process. So yeah, consistency is one thing that kept me going, and also the mentorship program. Somebody will be keep calling me from Ekcel Academy, stating that why have you not attended the lectures? Since I was in the group, they would call and ask feedbacks about faculty, the classes, and ask me why you have not attended the lectures and all. Yeah, constant follow-ups also, keeps you sometimes motivated. If someone is there to ask you what is going on in your life, it actually gives you a thought that yeah, someone is concerned about you. Just go back and do things to put things on a right path. So yeah, a lot of things is there, but due to time constraints and all, I'm not just mentioning a lot of things about our academy, and also the process. I mean, the culture that I had set up during this 6 months.
I think we are getting the essence. The idea is to get that essence, and also for people who are watching to get inspired. So that brings me to my last question, which I feel is very relevant for everyone watching it. What would your advice be to anyone who's watching it who are in a similar situation which you are in? Because it will be a dilemma. Should I leave the job? I'm getting good salary. I had already left CS. Now again, should I take it? So many dilemmas will be there. For whoever is watching this, they may be in a similar situation, because we know we get a lot of messages on WhatsApp. We get a lot of calls and all of that. So what is your message or advice to them?
I would bracket it as a message, not an advice, because I myself cleared it just now, and I don't know if I could give advice to anyone. But one thing is, this will earn you better breads. That's all.
Very nice.
This entry level jobs. I don't know. You quit the job and you come back to studies. You write it once with your 100% potential. If you don't clear it, you can actually get another entry level job in another 6 months. So you give yourself that time. Probably you might clear it, and you might end up in a better position. So that one thing that actually I told myself to convince me to quit the job. The day I dropped papers, I told this same sentence to me: if I'm quitting this job and concentrating on a different thing for another 6 months, if I don't get succeeded in whatever thing that I'm doing, I could actually find a better thing or the same thing after 6 months also. The opportunities are there in both ways. It's what we take, what matters.
Yes, and if you don't pursue CS, you will miss out on the career-long 30-40 years growth opportunities. So very nice to know that, Sriram, and everyone who's watching this. That was Sriram. And Sriram, let us take a challenge today that we'll meet you again after CS Professional for success stories. Shall we?
Yeah, definitely, sir. Very soon.
Yes, exactly. So we'll again meet Sriram in success stories after professional. And everyone who's watching this, please do share Sriram's story. And if you have any questions, let us know in the comments. So if you're in a dilemma, whether you're in a job or whether you're a full-time student or whatever it is, the main thing which I really liked about Sriram is not easy to leave a job. I'm telling you, because I know a lot of people, when you're getting a salary, it is like an addiction. Okay, there's also some saying that salary is a heroin or something, like a drug. You cannot leave it. So leaving that and doing it and passing it. So coming from such a challenging situation, it's not easy. That is what has inspired even me. And definitely, I would want everyone to get inspired with that. For more such episodes, please do subscribe to our channel. We have an entire playlist, more than 50 to 60 success stories of students of Ekcel who have cleared. So please do watch it. Our idea is for everyone to get into this beautiful profession. We wish you the very best. And once again, Sriram, congratulations and all the best for professional.
Thank you. Thank you so much for everything and your inspiration. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So thank you, everyone. I will see you in the next success story.